on this computer. Perfect. And then
All right. Trying to remember what I was gonna say.
can you hear the background noise for me?
Yeah, a lot.
Like a lot? Like you can hear my wife and my daughter yelling?
Just your daughter.
That's okay. It's all right. Okay. Ready? 5, 4. Whoa.
We're catching up on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, and good evening here from the US. Good morning sa Pilipinas. This is the Flip Side with Jay and Noel, episode 82. Today, the 1st of October, 2023, 7:11 p.m. in the US and 7:11 a.m. in the Republic of the Philippines.
Yeah, where it's cold only up here and it's warm down here. That's why I'm
It's
wearing
funny
this
you say
traveling
that.
pillow.
The weather here has started to be cold in the morning. Like it's like 50 degrees, sometimes even 45. And then it warms up to like 65, 70. Like this week is going to be the last week where we're going to hit like high or mid 70s. From then on, the following week, man, I don't even want to, I feel bad for looking at the 10-day forecast. It's horrible.
You lost half of your Filipino listeners. I have no idea what you just said. What is that in Celsius?
I don't know. What's 50 degrees in Celsius? I mean, in Fahrenheit. What is the conversion?
Did it ever get cold? Does it ever? Is it much colder in Virginia than it was in California?
Oh,
than it was
yeah.
in Daly City? See there, that's what I mean. I remember just being used to like 70s, 80s, and that was like cold. I've never really been around 40s, 50s,
Wait,
60s.
in Daly City, well, in Daly City in the wintertime, it's almost the hottest time of the year. I don't know if you remember in Daly City
Which
in
is
California where we lived, where we'd be running around in December in shorts playing basketball.
right. Which is about what? And then, so what's the coldest in Daly City?
I don't know.
Remember.
I mean, that I think at the like maybe 60, 65.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when you're
Yeah.
saying 40s, 50s now, it's like, what does that mean?
Oh
Are
no,
you in a different planet?
in the morning here in Virginia, the lowest I've seen when I woke up is 47 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about, I don't know, 9 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay. But
9
that's not enough.
Celsius.
That's not enough to snow yet though, right?
Sometimes it is. It all depends on the precipitation. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, which reminds me, sorry to interrupt, but
No,
I'll
you're fine.
send the
Got it.
link that we got on going on now to my friend, my traveling friend, in case she can join us for breakfast.
Nice. I just accepted your TikTok thing, by the way.
Okay, we're on.
Yeah. So here right now in the morning, it started the I think it was like 3 days ago. It was like 47 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like 9 degrees Celsius.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was cold, and that was in the morning. So by 1 p.m., it's like 70 degrees. You know,
Something's bothering me.
what's bothering me? What's going on? You all right?
Just before we started, like 30 seconds before we started, remember I was going to say something, and then once you click like record or start or 3, 2, 1, it just poof. And until now, I'm still trying to remember what I wanted to.
Was it the friend in Baguio?
No. That's not even like totally. I'm trying to remember like what the weekend was, or like if there was some story that I was about to say.
Well, I definitely want to ask. I have a couple of stories that I want to ask in regards to those pictures that you sent.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. What did I send?
So, well, hold on. Before we get there, just wanted a couple of things I wanted to talk about today on the show. I don't know if you have a couple of things. One, I wanted to talk about Joe Coy's claim about the Filipino egg roll as like the best one in the world, which is like Filipino lumpia. It's like he's basically stating a claim in this podcast that I sent you that he's saying that Philippine egg roll is like the best one in the world. And I want to talk about that. Even the Filipino version of egg roll is lumpia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that got me confused. I actually had to watch that clip twice because I was like, are they talking about lumpia as the egg roll? Because egg roll and lumpia are two different things, though, right? And
No,
then they
lumpia
were
is the egg roll version of the Philippines.
right. That's what you were just saying. But
Right,
in
right.
my mind, I was thinking that they're two different things. Like when you order egg roll, you get egg roll, and then when you get lumpia, you get lumpia,
Oh,
right?
no. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about that. Also, I wanted to talk about Joe Rogan if we get time. But let's talk about what's going on about these pictures that you sent.
Okay. What did I
First,
send?
first
I hope I
question.
didn't.
Noel sent me a picture, by the way, where he's driving a motorcycle and his passenger, his lovely lady over here, and the
Oh, that
back
was
of him
the video. Yeah. Okay.
recording the car that's playing chicken with them.
Right. Hold on a second. Let me take this hoodie off.
What
It's
are you
hot.
guys doing?
Ganito kasi yun.
Oh, we were on our way home, finally visiting our son.
Yeah.
My son, after 2 months of like a hiatus.
Right, right.
It was funny though because he actually noticed that I was gone for a long time.
Yeah.
I thought the guy would care less, but like he was like, "You're gone for a couple of months." It's like, "Yeah, I know." And then it was all about like, and it was raining, so you have an excuse not to visit me. So now we're not playing.
Oh,
Long story
kid,
short,
man.
he was happy to see me, and I was happy to see him. It was a long time because of the weather and work and all those excuses. Anyhow, so I spent the day with my son.
Yeah.
On our way home, we were passing C5. We were coming home late, so everybody was like, and it was a kind of a big deal because late means 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. is like
Pretty
the
big gap.
the truck window hour. So once 10 p.m. hits, like all the trucks are like on the road.
Right.
So we were on C5. Trucks are on the road. It wasn't traffic, except there are a lot of trucks, which kind of means, they're kind of sort of behaved all in their in their truck lane,
Right.
which is basically a moving wall of trucks where, you can't just sort of switch lanes as much as you want,
Right.
unless there's like a big gap on those trucks. So I think Christine remembers the beginning of that story. Ano na nangyari ulit?
Yeah. Parehas, dalawa kasi silang motor na nandun sa C5.
Nasa bridge kami. We were
Yeah,
on the
bridge.
bridge. And once you get on the bridge, that 4 or 5 lane highway turns into 2 lanes going up the bridge. So
Right.
I was on one lane on the right side. No, actually, we were 2 motorcycles split on those 2 lanes. We were both sort of in the middle of each lane. And I figured, there are probably people wanting to pass us. I was on the left lane. I probably should move over to the right lane, to let the faster cars on, to pass me on my left side. So I signaled over to the right side.
Right?
Right.
It's traffic. I signal over to the right side. Actually, if they did get ahead of me, they'd be right in front of me because there's not really much room. Anyway, so I signaled over to the right to drive right beside the other motorcycle. So I'd be sharing that lane with him.
Right.
So I was signaling, and then all of a sudden there was this the van that you saw squished between me and the other motorcycle. So the other motorcycle honked at him. I honked at him. We couldn't do anything because we sort of had to split back to where we came from because this
van was just trying to squeeze in.
SUV.
He was already halfway in there, but we both honked our horns for the dangerous maneuver that he did. And he was just sort of right in front and he was squeezing through. But like I said, there's a bunch of trucks, a bunch of cars. So even if we weren't trying to, both the motorcycles, me and the other guy, we weren't trying to run after the other guy. It's just that he'd have to slow down because there are other cars and other trucks. So we'd end up getting ahead of him.
Right.
So about a minute later, I was ahead of him, and then he tried to do the same maneuver again from the left side. But this time, this lady had it on video, and that's what that horn was all about again. So it was the second time that I was honking the horn.
I
And
mean,
then,
I was looking at it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, nung time na nagvi-video na ako, na nakikita niya na, nag-stop siya. Natakot siguro. Hala, nagvi-video. Kita yung
Right.
plaka niya dun eh.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of cars do that. I don't know if they do that probably also there where you are at. But, if they see a motorcycle, they like to bully the motorcycle sometimes, like, hey, to go faster, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
Right.
my nose right up your face so that you can go
Or
faster.
dadalihin ka niya from the side
Right.
para matamba ka.
Right.
Yeah, there was
Yeah, dito.
there was a recent
Sorry, go ahead.
viral road rage incident of sort of something similar, but this was traffic sort of standstill, and then the car ginit-git niya yung isang motorcycle to force him on the sidewalk.
Right.
Like a police maneuver where he'd
Jesus.
stop him like that, get off the car, have a little chat with each other, and then there's the car behind them is just on has a front seat of what's going on, so was taking a video. So maybe this guy that was like on my tail last night, and I wanted to sort of brake check him because he was like so close,
Right.
but I didn't want to do that and cause myself an accident, right?
Right. I mean,
but yeah, he was
the first thing.
that,
sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. He was just that close that anything you do actually would be dangerous. Like if you slow down, it would be dangerous. If you brake check him, it would be much dangerous. And then if you speed up, it's more dangerous because there's also another car in front of me.
Exactly. And it's
Actually,
even
a
harder
truck.
because there's two passengers.
So she had the presence of mind to whip out the phone and
Nice.
take a video.
Yeah, parang ayaw mo tumigil kanina ka pa.
At least hindi lumipad yung telepono mo.
Nakahawak naman sa tapos nakahawak pa yun. Hanggang nire-record ko, pinapakita ko sa kanya, ayaw mo tumigil
Yeah.
Nakita ko siya naglaylo sa likod.
Yeah, first he started, backing up, slowing down, and then when he found another lane, he just found another way to get around me.
I mean, good.
Yeah, like that was the end of my story. Like if they get away with it, they'll get away with it.
The first thing that just popped in my head was like, what the F are these two people doing? You're literally playing chicken with a car and you're on a scooter.
Yeah, well, chicken, not face-to-face chicken like that, but chicken meaning he was like tailgating me or he's trying to like bully me to move to the side.
So, I mean, chicken in a way, like no matter what happens, that car is going to win most likely. And plus you have a bigger risk of like losing your lives as opposed to their lives. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't like passing C5.
Right.
People's like mentality there.
EDSA?
No, the opposite of EDSA, the parallel.
A parallel at the other side, right? Of past Aguinaldo.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Eastwood, the Libis kind of place.
Yeah. So I was like looking at that video. I'm like, Jesus, what are you doing on a scooter right next to a truck to begin with?
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Once 10 o'clock hits,
then EDSA or what?
EDSA's similar with bumps, with more like crazier. And then the third option, which is C6, it's the scenic route, but although it's paved already and it's it's got street lights and all that, it's known to be, that's where they like carjack and kill people like on your way home because it's such a nice and peaceful. I mean, maybe not that bad, but it's just sort of there's just this stigma like, oh, gabi na, it's C6, don't pass C6, baka mahold up or whatever.
Tinitingnan ko, parang akala ko, is she selling cigarettes? What is she doing? Yung mga angkas na nagbibenta ng sigarilyo sa streets. That's what it reminded me at first. And then I saw the truck. And I'm like thinking to myself, what are you doing? Get away from that truck. With the way it is.
Na kami. Sinundan pa rin kami.
By truck, you mean that? By truck, you mean that van behind me?
No. There was an actual truck that was on the video. On that side, on the left side.
Right. Actually, what happened was the reason why this this time I was honking my horn at him again. It was because I was between the truck and myself. He was boxed in. So he was trying to get out by like pushing me to the side because I'm a motorcycle.
Right.
And I wouldn't like budge because I knew what he was trying to do. And if I moved to the side, he'd be like in front of me, and then his ass would just be right in front of me. It's not like if I move to the side, he'll pass and he'll be out of his, he'll be on his way.
Right.
If I move to the side, he'll just be right there.
Dahil sa traffic.
Like Tetris, right? Yeah. Because if I move, andito lang siya, there's like a little space. So what I did was I was just here. He was boxed in. I moved forward, and he was like right behind me.
Right. So let me ask you another question. When you're on C5, on average, when you drive there, what's the speed limit you're going?
And
60.
kilometers, 60,
Yeah.
40, 50, 60.
That's about what, 30 miles per hour? Right? About 35 miles?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, it's not really that fast because we're all in like some slow moving.
3
traffic.
lanes or 4?
4.
4 lanes, right?
Yeah.
What I don't understand is at the number, if the sheer mass and volume of transportation that goes around in the Philippines, why can't they dedicate at least the right lane for motorcycles? Para walang mamatay. Diyos ko.
No, kahit may motorcycle lane na nilagay doon, papasok pa rin yung mga kotse.
Yeah, people change lanes. Actually, there's one dedicated motorcycle-ish lane, and then there's a bus lane on the left. And these buses change lanes because they overtake each other.
Right.
Same thing with motorcycles or whatever. It's just that this one van, if we were all like literally everybody was going 50,
right?
He wanted to go 60, 55, So that's why I'd end up catching up with him because he'd just be stuck. But I mean, he was trying to weave through. But the problem was the way that he was doing it, because we were motorcycles. He knew that he could bully us to the side.
Right. If I were you though, I just get bullied in that case. Is it worth fighting about? What? I mean, that's your lives that you're messing with.
Yeah, but same with me as a motorcycle. I can't just switch lane. I need to see if somebody's also behind me.
That's true. That's true.
Just because he's on my left, I can't just move to my right like in a split second.
Buti nga yan, hindi pa yan yung malala eh. Kasi yung first namin na incident, no?
Dun sa bridge?
No, not sa bridge. Sa Paranaque.
Oh, yeah, this is another story. I told you about it where he did get in front of me, but this time he was trying to literally hit his tail to make me hit him from the back.
Right.
It was literally like a scene out of a movie, and I was like, okay, maybe I should just slow down. He doesn't want me on the road, so I slowed down, and then I got ahead of him again, and he'd like try to run after me and catch up, and he was signaling for me to like step over to the side and have a man-to-man talk, and I don't really have time for that right now.
Well, I'm glad that you guys are okay. I'm glad that you guys are okay. Yeah.
The adventures of driving in the Philippines. Jeez. All these characters.
Malaya, where's mom? Oh, I was like wondering where I can't see my wife. Anyway, yeah, but I'm just glad that you guys are okay. That's scary. I don't know why, for example, why you would put yourself in that situation. I don't know, but I'm glad that you guys are all right. What the heck was that walking around in the mall at the store? Was that Walmart? You were like strutting it down like.
Right. Wait, kind of got to tell you where that's sort of coming from. I hope this is not like a long dragged out story, but remember that uncomfortable conversation that I was talking to you about with my dad, because it's it's a very touchy subject. It's about inheritance.
Yeah.
Him accusing me of trying to steal his money and that kind of father son drama.
Yeah.
And your bottom line, as my Kuya Jason would say, what would you say? What was your advice?
What? It's a discussion that needs to be had.
And
so that who's gonna deal with it?
So we had that conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ano kami?
Wait, well, let's not get into those details. Let's go to the mall.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. Which one are we doing first? Mall or that?
No,
Dad.
yeah. So we had the conversation.
Yeah.
We had the conversation. And then, after like a really high energy, dramatic conversation, you want to kind of like let some steam out, sort of, maybe go shopping.
Or eat muna, di ba?
Yeah, we had like a little dinner. Justin and I, we had like a little date. We went
Right.
out and then we ended up finding ourselves in Decathlon, sort of celebrating. So that was all about sort of releasing all that pent up adrenaline or energy or what.
Right.
So what was it about the video, about the shopping video that you wanted to?
Well, no, she was hold on one sec. Ace. Ace. Aria.
Everybody wants to know what's going on.
Sorry.
I'm working here live on air.
What was I saying? No. Tin sent a video where you were starting it down the aisle of the store, of the shopping store. It looked like a Walmart store. Where is that?
Right. Yeah. So that's Decathlon. It's one of the bigger like sports stores that we got here in the Philippines.
Right.
And it's funny. I just found out how they organize their rain gear. So we were there kind of looking out for like raincoats.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have an excuse not to visit my son because it's raining.
Yeah.
The rain gear for, let's say, hiking is on the hiking section.
Right.
Right. And then we were walking around. I found another set of rain gear. Oh, wait, there's another set of rain gear here, but this is on the, let's say, on the fishing section. So there's like different sets of rain gear sprinkled all over the store.
Right.
You just have to find them depending on what activity that you're doing is.
Right.
So anyway, but in the middle of looking for all that rain gear,
right.
I found a pair of shoes. She found a pair of shoes. I found a pair. So basically, I was like modeling up and down the aisles on just trying the shoes on, see if it would help me in my catwalk. On the catwalk.
Yeah.
On the catwalk.
Yeah. And
my little the catwalk. So yeah. So that was that. Does that explain? Does it bother you? Like, did it? I sent that about 6-7 hours ago.
No, it doesn't bother me. I was just like, oh, cool.
You like my little catwalk.
Yeah.
You like my little catwalk on the catwalk.
Too sexy doing my shoes. Too sexy for my shoes.
Exactly. So that's what that was all
Well,
about.
that's good. Letting off some steam or what?
Yeah, that was my victory walk,
Yeah.
Oh, so it's so it was a good conversation.
Just because we had it. Not because I won, he lost, whoever.
So,
it's not really about a victory like that. Just
right.
the fact that it happened was even a
Right,
victory.
right. Well, that's good. As the mere fact that it actually. Oh my God! Thank you.
This is
What's that?
Oh my
happening.
gosh. So,
Get apple pie. What's up?
yeah, my wife and my daughter just brought me dinner. It's an all-American dinner, okay? It's grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup.
Wow.
So you dip the
Saucy.
grilled cheese in it. Fancy, bruh.
Mamaya.
Oh.
You know what that means? Podcast, ha? Busy ka. Hindi mo maalaga yung mga bata, ha? Ito,
Tumahimik
kumain
ka.
ka.
Huwag ka naman ganyan. I mean,
Kumain ka.
pag guilt trip ka pa, buwisit ka.
Sandwich in the middle of a podcast.
Right?
Recording kayo, ha? Kung hindi ka makatayo dyan kasi nag-aalaga ng kasi nagpa-podcast kayo. Busy kayo.
In fairness,
Kumain ka.
in all my life, my wife's grilled cheese sandwich is the best I've ever had. I kid you not. And then itong tomato sauce or soup that she got from Costco. Basically, what you do is with your grilled cheese, you dip it.
Yeah.
And you dip mong ganyan.
Put it.
Oh,
Sarap.
oh my God. Oh, how's breakfast, by the way? Is it good?
Nagugutom na si Noel.
Water. Wala akong pandesal. Chinek mo ba kung may pandesal sa labas? Wala.
Oh man,
pa.
that's good.
That's why I couldn't even have my coffee because there's no pandesal. There's nothing in my stomach.
Wow. What was I saying?
You need a minute?
No, I'm good. So the conversation, can we talk about it?
Sure.
So what I really want to know is that, so it seems like the outcome is good. So what I want to know is, how did you start the conversation? Because before you're like thinking, hey dad, so since you're old and about to die.
No, yeah. So I started the conversation about a year ago, and then it just stopped from that.
Right.
And then it kind of, parang there'd be like little things would be said here and there. And
So
then
paano mo start yung conversation this time around? How did you start it?
Yun nga, so every now and then my dad would text me something like to try to like build to maybe to start conversation, but I'm like, are you accusing me of something? Because I don't know, I just shut my mouth. Anyway, paano nga ba nag-umpisa? So basta it just built up like a pressure cooker. And I think the conversation started because my dad would vent out to her, okay, Christine. And then I think the conversation started because sila yung nag-usap. They started talking, about me and whatever my dad and I needed to talk about. And then it basically started when my dad said,
let's talk about
usap nga tayo. Like, so the conversation happened like with everybody in the household there. So,
I mean, there's only 3 of you in the house, so
a couple of more kasambahay. The dog also joined us.
nice.
Friend here somewhere. So, but I mean, it was a conversation between me and my dad, but it was like everybody else in the house kind of thing. So,
does it answer a lot of your question? Because one of the biggest questions was like, how are you going to handle this? How are you going to handle that?
No.
Just the fact that everything was on the table. So we'll figure out the details of how to handle this, how to handle that,
right,
later. But at least right now we know what we're dealing with.
Right. Well, that's
because the problem was before was I put this on the table, but my dad was like, no, let's not talk about that because I don't want you to think that I'm gonna die already or whatever. It's like it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. So he just sort of brushed it under the rug.
Right.
And I'm like, but it's there.
Right.
But he doesn't want to talk about it because, like this and like that. And
so parang
finally,
naging mediator si Tin.
Right.
That's
Sabi ko
awesome.
nga, change career ka, meron kang potential maging husgado. Hindi, lawyer. Ako yung lawyer kasi ako yung I therefore conclude na no, Your Honor, ganyan. Ito is kayo po, ano pong ano nyo?
Yeah.
Kayo po, ano pong ano nyo? Ikaw, ano pong reaction nyo sa nasabi po niya? Nakiintindihan nyo po ba?
I mean, it seems like yun lang naman talaga ang kailangan nyo. Like that's the only thing that's missing between the conversation for it to be had is a proper moderator.
Yeah.
Moderator / translator.
Yeah.
So,
So
right.
Pero ang ginagawa ko sa kanya kahapon, nililigaw-ligaw niya kami. Balik tayo, Papa, dun sa topic. Hindi yan yung topic.
Which was a reason why it was a good idea to have everybody there so that there's like sort of witnesses. Because when you're having a conversation, a really sort of heated conversation between two people, you don't sometimes, like myself, I don't even know that I'm getting lost in the conversation because I'm also affected by my own emotions. So it's always good to have like a mediator there, I guess, to
keep things in track.
Yeah, it's like a traffic light, like a police officer in the intersection kind of thing. Okay, your turn. Okay, and then your turn. Okay, and then where you want to go? Then let's go there. You want to go there? And then so, yeah, it's like grilled cheese sandwich with a little bit of sauce. It's like grilled cheese sandwich. Kulang na lang was, what were you having? Pumpkin soup? What are you dipping it in?
Tomato soup.
Tomato soup. So yeah, the grilled cheese sandwich is good, but when there's tomato soup,
It's it's good that you guys had the conversation. Just don't, like I said, don't do what I did where we procrastinated on the conversation. Basically, we'll say, okay, we'll continue the conversation later and later and later until, unfortunately, it was too late. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was basically what was happening.
Yeah.
I texted him muna tinext ko muna pala siya first.
Yeah.
Sabi ko parang, eto yung message ko kasi. Wait lang.
Yeah.
Message ko is, sabi ko.
But I think bottom line of the whole thing is, well,
sabi ko,
I don't know.
Dear Papa, I'm writing to you today because I'm from
detalye. Pero my dad can't speak for himself.
All I'm saying is don't wait too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest mistake you can make.
Kumbaga parang sa putulin na ang sungay kasi mas lumalaki na parang.
But feeling ko, my dad also thinks that I have sungay because I grew up in the States, and he's like, I hate the fact that he's using that against me.
I mean, then you just gotta tell him you just gotta keep telling him no matter what. I mean, unfortunately, he's at the age where yung direction ng pag-iisip hindi na major change minsan eh. You know?
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we just have to keep telling them, you know, that we don't have any bad intentions about it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, which is basically what the gist of the conversation was all about.
Right,
I don't have any bad intentions. This is just what I think needs to be done.
Right.
And we need to talk about it. And he's like, yeah, but like, no, but do you understand what I'm talking about?
Well, don't say it like that. You're making him sound like he doesn't like you're treating him like a kid.
In many ways, he was.
Again, nasa edad na unfortunately, hindi na magbabago, di ba?
Yeah.
So kailangan yung direction is iba na minsan. Like I said, yung my dad, yung ganun din siya dati. Like, my dad was a big procrastinator as well. In a way, that's where I get it from, you know?
You know why? Because they're uncomfortable with the conversation.
It's a horrible conversation to have.
It's like, I can't believe that my son is talking to me about this.
Yun na nga lang. Ang kailangan ipa-realize, ang dapat na ginawa ko, I should have let him realize na having that conversation will establish his wishes or his directions even when he's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
But, like, the problem is, you know, they get bias on in the middle of the conversation. It's hard to understand things because he has his own fears. How did you have your conversation with your dad, or what was your?
It was the same way until he eventually, basically ganun din the way I approached it. You know, hey dad, sa totoo lang, you're at the age where it's a conversation that needs to be had. You know. Kasi yung dad ko stubborn siya, okay?
Did you chip at it like every month or every week or?
It took about a year to get that conversation going. And then the last conversation,
lumabas ka dyan!
The last conversation we had, we finally met eye to eye, okay? And then basically he said, okay, let's sit on this, and then our next conversation, let's have some paper signed. Let's do this, that, yada, yada, yada. Pag-iisipan ko muna kung sino ang gagawa nito, gagawa niya, meaning who's going to be the power of attorney for this.
Yeah.
So it was too late.
Yeah,
it was literally too late. We had that conversation in 2018, maybe July, after his birthday, basically.
Wow.
And then he said, let's sit on it. Pag-iisipan ko. Hindi ko pinush forward, meaning I probably asked him maybe one more time after that just to remind him. And he said, okay, I'm thinking about it.
Wow.
Literally 6 months down the road, 2 days before Christmas, she passes away.
Yeah.
So,
man, yeah, quite literally, you're saying, you know, don't take too long to think. I mean,
exactly. Kasi hindi mo alam kung anong mangyayari, lalo na sa matatandang edad, at the older age, where unfortunately, not everybody has full knowledge of their own health.
Yeah.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Tapos, wala naman akong pakialam kung I don't care what the results are in regards to my behalf, for example. But I just wanted to make sure that his wishes are,
yeah, but that's, I mean, it was frustrating, but that was also what I was trying to explain. Na parang, if we do this, this is what's going to happen. If we don't do that, this is what's going to happen. Do you understand that? Because his just decision making is just like, well, this is what it's just based on feel and his past experience. But right now in 2023, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. This, and he, it's just basically half an hour of trying to explain this and then this. And then
what would have made it easier in my case was all we needed to do was to have a power of attorney signed and instructions on paper. It doesn't have to be finalized instructions, but it could be like a draft, right? Pero pag may power of attorney, that person pretty much executes all of the instructions for the deceased, basically.
Yeah. We weren't even there. Like, we weren't even in the idea of having a conversation about it. So the big deal was the fact that the conversation even happened, or the other person that I'm speaking with sort of actually understands what I'm trying to say. Because he just like block it off, brush it under a rug, and ask for patis. Parang ganon. It was like hold on a second. We're trying to. Yeah. Or let's say we have a rat infestation problem here. Kasi may mga restaurant na ganito. It's like, yeah, but what are we going to do about the problem?
Right.
Yeah, but because, there's a lot of food and, we're using the kitchen a lot.
The
what are we going to do with the problem?
The way I was able to finally get that resolution from my dad was the conversation needs to be brought up in a way where it's to benefit them. And then he asked me, how is it going to benefit me when I'm already gone? It's benefiting, not benefiting, I guess, but that's how I put it. In a way, even when you're gone, your instructions and your directions are still being followed, basically. Kasi mahirap talaga.
I don't know if circumcision was your way to being for entering manhood, but I think having that conversation, in my case at least, and maybe for my dad too, it's the way. I think that's the initiation to manhood. To be able to have that conversation.
I see what you're saying, though. I definitely see what you're saying when it comes to that. And I'm learning from that experience that, I mean, I think it was like a number of episodes ago we were talking about insurance and all. Yeah, the same thing, basically. So I'm like preparing myself that, God forbid, I get struck down by lightning. I'm literally dumbing it down for my wife. And I'm not saying she's dumb, okay? It's just an expression.
Simplifying it
down, that all she has to do is click this and call this phone number, and then everything will be taken.
No. Not even simplifying, it's clarifying it just so that it's clear. I mean, nobody accidentally presses the wrong button and launches a nuclear bomb.
Right. I mean, unfortunately, we live in a day nowadays where, especially here in the States, if you don't have your affairs in order, mahirap. Pag nawala ka, besides the fact that your family is grieving for your loss, or your loved ones is grieving for your loss, they're the ones that's going to be struggling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maraming documents, right?
Kailangan may documents lahat, and it's clear, like yung life insurance ko, I simplified it as simple as possible. I have benefit. I don't know.
I remember din na nag-claim ako before ng insurance.
Oh
my God, ang daming document na kailangan nagpapatunay. Parang
yeah.
I mean, it's their job to scrutinize and to make sure that you're not trying to pull one over them, right? But it's not.
But if the person's dead, How is it?
Tapos ano pa, aabutin ng 6 months, parang ganun.
Yeah.
I mean, dito, I simplified everything to a fact that literally my wife has a copy of this. My insurance agent has a copy of this and whatnot. That if something goes wrong, there's clear instructions in my policy. Para pinadali ko na eh, para like, God forbid, again, something happens. All she has to do, tawagan yung number, maski yung pagbayad sa funeral costs and whatnot, she doesn't even have to worry about it. It's all going to come out from the insurance.
But all in all, though, life
What?
lesson for me here is really all about, aside from clarifying things, but it's really being able to have that conversation to begin with.
Right.
Whether you're a man or a woman.
It's a tough conversation, no matter what. Mahirap
Adulting is really about, knowing how to handle yourself, getting into that conversation, and having that conversation. So there's like two different things. Like the conversation itself is one thing, but how did you actually handle yourself in that conversation?
I'll be honest. Right now, to be honest with you, this last couple of months, I'd like to say, because of me getting sick and whatnot, my health at first, I had that health scare in a way. It gave me concern. I wasn't able to concentrate on anything. Pati yung trabaho ko na even my work was being affected because I couldn't think properly, my day-to-day life thinking, decisions making, whatever, wala. Na interrupted lahat.
It bothers you. Yeah.
But if you're able to have that conversation with your dad and open it up, that'd be great. Now, the next step, I think, is to finish the conversation and get things done. Because, like I said, as sucks that it is, we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we're at now. Try to get the ball rolling, so to speak. Right. At least the wheels are turning. Oh, speaking of at least the wheels are turning. So that's another story over the weekend. Sorry to sort of hog up all the time.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All about my stories. But yeah, on the way home, aside from that traffic incident, we also got a flat tire.
I saw. How is that so?
And like I said, when I was a few years ago, when I asked a mechanic, so being such a good mechanic that you are, what do you suggest is the most important thing to maintain in your vehicle? And he thought about it, and I was thinking, engine, electronics, fuel gauge, fuel pump. No, he said gulong.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so we hit a big bump, I think. Yeah, I mean, we hit something on the road, and I said that kind of felt funny. So I stopped to the side and I was like, may natanggal ba na tornillo? Like, I actually didn't even know that it was a flat tire. I just thought that I like there was something loose on the motorcycle.
So what was the problem? Did they
Pero yun nga, what I was saying was, tumigil nga ako because tumigil ako not because it felt like flat. Tumigil ako kasi akala ko may natanggal na gulong.
No, kasi every namin biyahe.
Yeah. And then so I was like, I stopped. I was like wiggling the motorcycle here, wiggling the tires here and there.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I don't know what that is, but let's just go. As in, like, I started the engine again, and then Tin was like,
flat.
Ano ba? Flat. Like, anong flat? So I was looking at it. Oh, and then here's the thing. So I pumped it with air, right? Okay, let's go. And then she got on, started the motorcycle. Flat na naman.
Oh.
So I was like, that was like 20 seconds from the time I packed up the tire pump.
Yeah.
Flat na naman.
So what was the problem?
There was a big hole as huge. It was so huge it was going
Oh.
And I put my finger on the tire and it was
Oh my God. So it's an actual, like, was it like a hole that you could see through or what?
So big, so huge that we were like, you know what? Bilhin na lang tayo ng gulong.
Hindi, gusto pa niya ipagawa.
Because
sabi ko, 350.
It would, yeah.
Pabili na tayo ng gulong. Papalit natin kalbo na eh.
Yeah. It was so bad that it would the tire would cost almost 1/3, almost half of what a new tire would cost. So yeah,
Oh.
when you get a flat tire, just buy a new one.
Well, hold on. What time was that at night?
11?
11, almost 12.
Tapos bukas pa? Minabilan ka pa ng pag ano?
Philippines, pare.
Wow!
24/7. Yun lang, walang shirt.
Yeah.
Yun na nga. Ano yun?
Oh,
Sa
bye.
gas station?
Ayan, nagdodota, League of Legends. Like,
Buti na
bukas
lang, meron sila yung gulong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ano
And
yun,
you know
brand
what?
new or used?
Brand new.
China.
Wow.
We'll see.
Stateside.
We'll see how it goes. But the funny thing was, that's actually the second time that I went to that. And it's not near my house, huh? It's
Right.
still like 30 minutes away.
Right.
That's the second time that we stopped there for a flat tire.
Wow.
Pangalawang beses na yun. So
Jesus.
that's why I knew that there was a vulcanizing shop that was
Right.
probably open.
Right.
And I've helped it's funny also, I've helped a couple of people take their motorcycles or take their gulong. As in, we took out the gulong, the wheel from the motorcycle, and I took it to the nearest vulcanizing shop.
Oh.
And if it happened here and here, my flat tire incident like happened here.
Right.
You know, it's like I helped so many people with flat tires, and how come mine happens further away from the shop,
Nobody helped.
and nobody is here to help? But
Right.
but the benefit of that is knowing that there's a flat tire or a tire shop right there. Because these
Right.
people, when they had flat tires, they're not from the area. They didn't know, they'd never had a flat tire there before. And I was like, oh, I know where a flat tire place is, so I could
Right.
help. So, but anyway,
That's good. I mean, at least meron pang bukas, but it's a little weird that it's still open at 11 p.m. You know,
Kundi, magtutulak kami.
I mean,
That's-
dito 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you just have to call a tow truck. That's it.
yeah.
Or
Yeah, so
even
that's-
was there's one time actually, it was like 9 o'clock on routes. This the highway route 7 here. I had a flat tire. I had no choice but to leave the car overnight on the side of the road. Pati yung tow truck hindi matawagan dahil busy daw sila. I was like, all right, whatever. So I walked.
Wow.
Yeah.
How far?
4 miles maybe home. Yeah, I mean, it took me like an hour and a half and whatnot, 2 hours to walk home, whatever.
Thought about your life.
That's when I was like thinking the first time I probably thought, we gotta leave fucking Virginia. It's too cold. It was winter time when it happened. So, yeah. Hey,
gosh, you were walking in the snow?
No, I mean, winter time doesn't necessarily mean snow. It's just cold. You know? I mean, you try walking around outside at night with 45 degrees with the wind blowing at you. It makes it feel like it's 30 degrees, you know? It's freezing.
But, I'm happy to say, I had another adventure with this lady right here.
Right. Yeah.
Another one for the
down
books.
Oh.
Another video to edit.
Right. Hey, real quick, I want to give props to my wife again today. She has been in a decorating mood where she hasn't really decorated that much. Well, she's like she wants to, but she really doesn't. But this week, she's been planning what to do to decorate, right? So she's been decorating a little bit at the house. If I could just share a little bit here.
Oh,
yeah, it's like boom. Oh, hui. Look at that Halloween, no?
Wait, we were just talking about winter. I was thinking winter ornaments, but no, this is Halloween.
No, it's Halloween first. I mean,
yeah,
it's not even Thanksgiving yet for crying out loud. So it's Halloween. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I mean, these pumpkins here, she actually So she bought these pumpkins that are like actual pumpkin colored, right? But she actually took the time to I can't zoom in, but she took the time to spray paint it. She actually spray painted the pumpkin and then took the time to do that. And she did a really good job. I have to admit, look at that. She's got spiders on the pole, some webbings,
That's
lights
awesome.
on the walkway.
That looks like a textbook Virginia front of a house.
Right.
Facade of a house. Photo.
Rough photo. That's my daughter and her homecoming with her friend. Okay. So yeah, but she did a really good job. She's been decorating mode today and this week, and she's been really taking the time to like clean up and whatnot. I'm so proud of her, but at the same time I feel bad because I couldn't really help her properly, you know.
There's a dog. Our dog is like trying to run after a mouse again.
What?
Yeah. May nahuli? Yeah. He's sticking his nose under the table and all over the places.
Kwento mo sa kanya yung rat.
Yeah, there was a rat when we parked the motorcycle last night. It was like a rat size of a cat last night. That was just
Jesus, like dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pinagtulungan ng tatlong aso.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Or it's possible that it was just pretending to be dead because like rats do that though, right? Like if they have nowhere to run,
they don't. I mean, also it's either that rat is that big, but when rats pass away, they kind of expand because of the chemicals and the gas that builds up inside of them. Like
this guy wasn't expanded yet. He was just
I don't know.
And then maybe when we leave, like start to run away. But yeah. Wait, where was I going with that?
Oh, I don't know. I was just talking about my wife and her amazing job, and you talked about rats.
Oh no, the seasons. I was just thinking, winter seasons, holidays. It's good to have these sort of breaks in your head.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've never really had an appreciation for holidays before. Because what for?
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that though. Like here, you know how when the Burr months come in the Philippines, all Christmas already? I actually noticed this year, mid-September, like Costco and Walmart are already selling Christmas stuff.
Yeah, we're taking over the world, man.
It's crazy.
It's Christmas is a Philippine holiday. No, what I wanted to say about these holidays, and I'm having I'm having more appreciation for it.
Right.
That it's kind of it's a very I don't know, opening the windows or letting the air out kind of on your head, mental health wise.
Yeah.
It's good for the head in a sense that just change in season, walk out a little bit kind of feeling. You know, that change in environment, seasons,
right,
environment, whatever. It just needs to like step out of your own head and do something else kind of thing.
I don't know.
So
I'm tired of these the weather that changes along with the season and whatnot. Honestly,
you don't like it. That's what I miss.
I love it. I used to. Now I hate it. I really hate it. I'm so tired of it.
You want it to be summer forever?
It doesn't have to be summer forever, but the winter here is just. I mean, I'm grateful that it hasn't really snowed bad in like I don't know 5 years. Maybe 6. Whatever.
You're a Filipino living in America that doesn't like the snow.
I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of the snow.
Look at you. Listen to you. Sounds like a typical American.
No, but
I'm tired of the snow. I'm so tired of the snow.
I'm telling you, man. You guys, okay, here's the thing. You guys miss it. Nami-miss ko ang init dito.
Yeah.
You try. Kaya walang nagagawa pag winter over here, all right? Because if you need to go to the store, that's only 5 minutes away. You gotta put double socks on. You gotta put pants or maybe long johns underneath your pants, and then you gotta put your pants on, and then a shirt, and then a long sleeve shirt, and then a sweater, maybe a jacket after that. And then you got to put a hat on, you got to put it all on, then you got to walk like you're like a dog, a snowman, just to drive. And then you're wearing thick clothes. So when you're driving, you're like this.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes, man. For us Filipinos, magja-jacket siya, tapos magbo-bonnet, magga-gloves. Sarap mag-gloves, di ba? Magga-gloves, gloves. Tapos, yung snow. Wow, ang puti-puti ng snow.
Okay, I'm gonna show you.
Wow, ang lamig-lamig. Kinikilig kami. Sarap naman dito sa Amerika. Ang puti-puti ng snow. Tapos yung grass is so green. Ay, kabila pala. Mahirap pala maging weatherman. Green.
Mahirap pa, oo.
Look at the green grass.
Okay, ganito dito sa Amerika. Lalo na sa mga edad ko, ganyan.
Berding-berde, oh.
Oh my God!
Yan o. Oh. Sa Amerika, ayan o, sa edad ko. Tapos nakaganyan pa.
Oh no, mata na lang yung nakikita.
Yeah, because ang lamig. Ang sakit ka. It hurts your face. Oo, yung lamig.
Yeah.
Hinahanap ko yung hat ko pero hindi ko makita.
Yeah, but for us Filipinos, it's like, wow, sarap naman dito. Lamig-lamig.
Oh,
lamig-lamig sa Baguio.
Oh, yeah. Sige.
Baguio lang pala.
Baguio lang pala.
Ang lamig-lamig.
Yun, grabe yung panga. Pag sa gabi,
Oh.
naninigas na yung panga ko.
Okay, isipin mo yung weather sa Baguio, but take away 20 degrees.
Sarap-sarap naman. Ang lamig-lamig.
Wow!
The only thing that I don't like when it's cold, it's so cold. It's too cold that I want to take a shower.
Yeah. For me naman, I don't like. Kasi
wala kayong hot water?
No, we have hot water, but we don't have hot air.
Yeah.
Like we don't have like heater for the
For the
room.
house, yeah.
So
I don't like the weather there. Yung dry, nagda-dry yung skin.
Oh, yeah. Kaya pa lotion palagi, lalo na pag winter.
yeah,
But I know what you're saying though, but in our bathroom, we actually have a small space heater sa bathroom namin na nasa sahig para pag labas mo ng shower kahit na mainit na sa banyo, you know.
can
Okay
your
lang.
wife hear you already? Because AC sent me a message about maybe an hour ago. I can't hear Jason here. I only saw the message now.
On where? On TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah, on TikTok.
Maybe
So sorry, I got
I
distracted.
I don't know. Can
A lot
she
of
hear me
things
now?
Moving around in this room.
I don't know. I don't even know. It's been like almost an hour, and now I hear.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick.
Lightning round or anything else that you want to talk about before we go? I pretty much hogged up the whole show today.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Let's talk about real quick what this claim for the best. What do you think about the best Filipino or best egg rolls in the world? So basically, I sent a TikTok or a clip to Noel about Joe
false.
Coy
You
making a
claim
staking claim
that Filipinos make the
Filipino
world's
egg
best
rolls,
Hands
which
down.
egg
are
roll.
Hands down.
lumpia.
It's, but not called
Lumpia
egg rolls.
is
Called.
Jimmy
the
O
best
Yang knows.
in the
He's
world.
trying to challenge me right now.
Lumpia, yeah.
Jimmy
What do you
O
think about
Yang.
that?
Yeah.
What is it?
I'm calling you out again, Jimmy.
Lumpia.
Lumpia. Hands
Oh,
down, the best
so
egg
good.
roll in the world.
Which are the
Lumpia,
sariwa,
yes.
the fried,
Lumpia, I
and
think,
what's
is
the
one of
other?
the most dangerous foods on the planet because you could bring in a huge pile of it.
What's the
and you
difference with the
cannot
Shanghai
stop
and the
eating
Perinito?
it.
You need like
It's
a whole
so
party
good.
pack.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
so good,
yeah,
and
it's
it's just like a
sakto.
little bite size with the
It's
little
what's
sweet and sour
inside.
or whatever.
Hungry. Rob.
yung isa meat.
Right. So here's the difference. Even where there's vegetable only or the meat and vegetable or just the meat,
Mm.
there's a distinct flavor when it comes to Filipino egg rolls or lumpia. For some
Okay.
reason, there's always that distinct flavor. You know. So I thought about this after hearing Joe Coy say it. I mean, he's really saying it like, oh, it is the best egg roll you're gonna have in the world.
That's actually. Let me explain real quick where I'm coming from.
Ah.
I have no idea because I've never tried any other kind of lumpia or
Well, you know, Chinese
egg roll.
restaurant lumpia or egg roll.
right. Yeah, but it's like, oh, it just tastes like what?
Masarap yun pagka terno ng
Like,
palabo.
what do I compare it to? Is what I'm saying.
What do you
Not
mean?
that I-
You compare it to other egg rolls that you have. There's the Chinese egg rolls, which is the typical ones, or
Shanghai.
the Latino egg rolls where it's the wrapper, but it's kind of like not a flavored wrapper. It's a little bit thicker, and it's
Yung
like
Shanghai.
Chinese
adding
egg roll daw,
flavors
yun
inside.
yung Shanghai. Same,
Shanghai.
baka same lang. Like how many different lumpias or different egg rolls are there?
I don't know. I mean, I've only tried maybe 4 different kinds, like the Indian egg rolls. I've tried that
Oh,
one. Those are pretty decent as well. The Latin or Mexican egg rolls. I've also tried the Chinese, obviously, egg rolls.
yun. So I'm not too familiar with them.
The Japanese egg rolls, I'm not really a fan of, to be honest with you. I don't know what they
Oh,
call it, but
right.
they have their own version of an egg roll. I'm not a fan of. I don't know why.
Yeah, Japan's got a different set
Oh,
of rules
And
when
there's
it
the
comes
Vietnamese
to.
spring rolls. The
Oh,
Vietnamese,
right.
either the fresh or the fried.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm
And then
not
there's
really.
also obviously the lumpia, the Filipino version and whatnot. So I was like
Okay.
thinking about this quite a bit, to be honest with you, because I'm like, holy crap, that's a pretty strong statement to say when it comes to lumpia or to egg rolls,
I
because
guess my experience though is that isn't that the most popular egg
lumpia,
rolls? Yeah,
I don't know. That's the
I
thing.
think I kind of feel like that's what that's all that I've had. That's my only experience. I mean, I
Well-
might have tried other egg rolls, maybe
Right.
the Vietnamese one, but I didn't realize that it was a Vietnamese version.
So here's my top 3. Obviously, I mean not top 3, but the highest 3 rated ones that from what I've tried at least. Definitely lumpia, and then the Chinese egg roll, and then the Vietnamese spring roll. The
Which
fried
is
spring-
fresh.
They're all fresh. It's either fried or fresh, is what I'm saying. For
Oh,
Vietnamese.
okay,
But I'm
okay.
talking about the fried one. The fried one. Okay.
Okay.
If we're talking about fried one, number 3 would definitely be the Chinese egg roll. I wouldn't say it's the best one. You know what I mean? Now, for the top 2 spots, that's going to be close. I take it back. Yeah, I think I'm putting Vietnamese spring roll at number 2 because it's a hit or miss. For some reason, different restaurants, different flavors, obviously, but they're not as good. Now, but with lumpia, you can have the long one, you can have the short one, or you can have the teeny teeny one. And doesn't matter what you put in it. I mean, you can just eat that all day long, though. It's true.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
really
yeah.
a lumpia person as much as you are, but now that you mentioned it, I didn't realize that there's so many different versions. I just thought lumpia was lumpia. Either you make it good or you make it bad. I didn't realize that it was an Indian version, there was a
Yeah.
Chinese version or a Mexican version.
Well, I
I
mean,
thought it
most
was
people,
just-
I think, when you say egg rolls, they think the Chinese version. You know what I mean?
Yun
Oh.
ba?
Lumpiang Shanghai.
Lumpiang Shanghai. Oh, yun. Yeah,
See,
they call it
That's what
lumpiang
I'm
Shanghai
saying.
here.
Pero, kung ako ang tatanungin, I'd much prefer to have the top 2, the lumpia and the Vietnamese spring roll. Yeah.
Got
That's
it.
my type 2.
I like the lumpiang toge with suka. Oh my God.
Where's the dog? Hold on. He's like
There.
Like- turning over furniture here.
Right? Ready?
You okay?
No, just let him. Just I will see what happens.
No.
Sorry.
Hey,
Just
fine.
something exciting going on with this dog right here. Right now. He's got his own podcast on the side. Anything else?
Now, lightning round. Go ahead.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything.
I did
else
want. Oh, man,
under-
we don't have time. I wanted to talk about Joe Rogan.
What about?
We'll talk about it on the next episode. There's nothing specific about it, but it's just I wanted to talk about him in general.
Did you have a recent?
Guy?
No. But did you have a recent infatuation for the guy? Like,
It's
did you
not
just?
like it's an infatuation, but I'm just downright impressed with this guy and the way his brain is such a sponge.
Yeah. No. Like, I'm just like
He's-
just compared when you and I started. this podcast.
Right.
And you said, "Do you want to do a podcast with me?" And I was like, "Oh, this is my opportunity to sound and to be like Joe Rogan." I was on a Joe Rogan high.
Mm.
And then it kind of, once we started doing our own thing, it kind of tapered off, and I was like, Joe Rogan, I could do that.
Yeah, right. Oh,
I could
man,
be on
I wish I could. I can't even. We can't come close to doing what Joe Rogan does.
I could
This
be in
guy
front of a
is-
microphone and wear a headset.
Forgot your side camera.
Talk. Oh, I forgot the camera. No side camera for this
Oh,
episode.
no side camera in this episode. Don't worry.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed too, but I've kind of like, I've tapered my infatuation for the guy. It's like, calm down. Calm down, Noel.
I'm not like infatuated, but I'm just absolutely impressed because the different kind of interests that he has.
Yeah.
That's what's impressed me the most,
Right.
Besides the fact that the guy is a freaking working machine. He's working all the time. Watching his interviews, it's all different levels. It could be from a very, very intellectual level to an absolutely useless conversation.
Yeah, I was listening to another conversation about the guy, and I think they summed it up very well in a sense. Now the guy's just basically curious.
Yeah.
And
You know what? Yeah.
He so happens to have good memory and that kind of thing, and that really helps
Right.
a lot.
Right.
And I was also impressed. This is what really impressed me most, was that he'd really do research on his podcast.
Oh, he does.
Like before the guest
Right.
arrives.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's not just like he's just having a casual conversation. There's actually a lot of stuff going on in the background. Well, I mean, like, if they're going to talk about a book, they really talk about the book. I mean, he really reads it or whatever. One quick thing, if we still have time, I just wanted to share about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
The Rogan. I'm trying to remember that. I really forgot. There was something like really, when you feel like you're going to say something smart and then just preparing yourself to say
you realize you're not.
You forget what it's all about. And so I forget what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry.
That's
Well,
a
to my
senior
point,
moment there.
the flip side on that is, to my point in regards to Joe Rogan, like a good example is there's one episode that he's talking about Egypt and the pyramids, and then all of a sudden jumping to another episode where there's just talking about Deep Space Nine type of thing. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, if you want to be a good podcaster like Joe Rogan, you have to remember what you wanted to say.
Yeah. You have
or
to,
at least have an
know what you
opinion
want to
about
say.
it.
Yeah.
And here I am. You're saying something, and I'm trying to remember what I was going to say about it.
Well,
But yeah, he could jump topics all over the place and like really, good stuff. Like a lot of people learning from the guy, and a lot of people started, like he's the Godfather.
practically,
I guess
practically the
GOAT.
Godfather of pod. He's the king of podcasting. The way I see it. Him and
Yeah.
Adam Carolla.
I mean, those are the OGs, right?
Yeah. I didn't even know that Joe Rogan actually puts out 3 episodes every week.
Mm.
That's a lot of freaking studying to do.
Eh,
Yeah. Maybe
I'm
I
sure.
mean, we're just lazy. That's the difference. Anyway. Okay. All right, guys. I think we have reached the end. Thank you for joining us for another recording. It's been a somewhat of an interesting week.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight until the next episode. If I
Thinking
Unless
about
I
what
rem-
you needed to say.
remember what I was going to, probably message you like at 3:00 in the morning. It's like, I remember now what I wanted to say about Joe Rogan. Is
Well,
it Joe
in any
Rogan or
case,
just podcasting in general.
thank you for tuning in. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, and do whatever it is. that you need to do, please support us. We would really appreciate it. Anyway, this is the Flip Side with Jay and Noel, episode 82, Down the Drain. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
Bye, Tin. Thank you. Bye. Isang libot, isang tuwa, buong bansa. You can catch the full episodes on youtube.com at The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. Full episodes uploaded every Wednesdays and Saturdays.